One time I actually fell and he fell on top of me and I could have swore that I had 2 broken ribs.
Everyone loves the big guys. These Goliath outliers of the human race that showcase their size on the field. It's a big part of the raw appeal in the sport of football itself. Whether you're a super fan or a casual viewer on Super Bowl Sunday, everyone loves to watch the big guys make a play. There's this immediate fascination anytime the largest guy on the field does anything. And to be quite honest with you, these big boys don't get talked about a whole lot, especially if you look at the videos on this channel. I mean, I feel like we almost solely talk about quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. Although we did do that video on the kicker who won the 1982 NFL MVP, so check that bizarre one out if you haven't already. Anyway, this one is for the dogs in the trenches. We're going to talk about what happened to the 500-pound football player. Then we'll discuss some of the other notable giants who have left a big mark on the game.
I said, who is this man blocking out the sun?
Back in the day, John Taylor, known simply as House, was a 6'11", 500-pound defensive tackle. If you're looking for a comparison, well, William the Refrigerator Perry was typically in the 330 range back when he played. I mean, the fridge could literally eat a fan in the crowd, and he'd still probably be lighter than what House was. The 500-pound frame would equal 2.2 Tom Brady's and almost 3 KJ Hamlers. So as you might expect, House would wear size 19 sneakers, size 60 jeans, and bear with me now, 2 XXXXXXL shirts. According to his team bio, he's listed quite simply as the largest football player of all time. House stood 5'3" when he started playing football as a 7-year-old. Often he was 4 years younger than his opponents, but still dwarfed them. His size encouraged him to plan on a future in the NFL, but he played passively and timidly. You're probably thinking of Michael Oher from The Blind Side now, and I'd say that comparison is fair with the two players sounding a lot like gentle giants, but they did play on opposite sides of the ball. While Oher would protect the quarterback's blind side, House was clogging up run lanes as a foundation of the defense. Get it? Foundation? House? I'll see myself out. One former teammate said House was basically their entire goal line defense because he would block the opponent's view of the linebackers to the point where they had no idea of who was coming from where. So of course with that kind of size, NFL scouts had to have at least taken a look, right? And the answer is yes. While in college at Virginia Union, one scout came and checked on him, but told him he was actually too big for the NFL and not athletic enough. Add that along with him being so big that he had a fear of hurting other players, and you have a semi-pro defensive tackle who loves the game, but couldn't quite make it to the virtually impossible journey into the NFL. As a member of the Gridiron Developmental Football League, House played for the Central Penn Piranha, but he dealt with a calf injury which resulted in him playing just 3 games during his 1 year with the team. I gotta mention he joined the league at the age of 35, which is obviously quite impressive and probably a big reason for why he retired from it so fast. But he has said he wanted to lose weight and keep his health in order during retirement. I tried reaching out to House, but never ended up getting a response from him. It does look like he's lost some weight like he wanted, and at the age of 43, it doesn't look like he's playing football anymore. He cheers for the Eagles, I guess at least when they provide the rare opportunity to be cheered for. Anyway, it seems like House is doing well and hopefully healthy for his daughter, just like he wanted. Now as we transition this video, you're probably wondering, well, who's the biggest player to ever play in the NFL? Richard Sly may have been the tallest player ever at 7 feet, but even with all that height, he still measured in at 300 pounds. Although he was one big man, he still had a slimmer frame than the other players on this list. If you're wondering, Sly played just 8 games in his career for the Raiders back in 1967. Other more modern players may come to mind as well. Guys like Vince Wilfork may look huge, and by normal standards they are, but Big Vince weighed in at, well, just 325 pounds. Raiders tackle Trent Brown is pretty much known as the NFL's current giant. At 6'8", he entered the league weighing 355 pounds, but has brought that up all the way to 380 pounds, making him one of the largest men to ever play the sport, especially when you consider the level Brown has played at, having made a Pro Bowl and winning a Super Bowl. It's weird thinking about all these weights when you consider back in the 1920s, it was Wilbur Pete Henry who was one of the NFL's largest and most dominant linemen at 5'11" and 245 pounds. If you were to line him up next to the largest NFL player ever, he'd kinda look like a peanut. And that largest player is none other than Aaron Gibson. At 6'7", 410 pounds, he weighs about twice as much as Kyler Murray. And not only is it a miracle that Gibson made it to the NFL, but it's somewhat of a miracle that he didn't die of starvation. As a homeless kid, his family survived off leftover pizza crusts and the remaining meat off KFC wings. Gibson's full meals usually came from the nearby church or a friend's house. In high school, the future NFL lineman ran track, even at such a large size, and with that size, the recruiting calls came in, and he opted for Wisconsin. That would be the first time Gibson had access to unlimited food. He estimated that he ate 20,000 to 30,000 calories a day. His teammates had no idea how he burned it all off. In 1999, Gibson was projected to be a top tackle prospect in the draft. The Lions took him in the first round, but Gibson struggled to keep his weight down and was constantly fined for violating the weight clause in his contract. In 2001, he was released. His best year in the NFL came in 2003 with the Bears, when he started all 16 games. After that, he eventually wound up playing Arena League football until 2010. In retirement, he ate his way up to 480 pounds. At some points, he came close to suicide. Luckily, he soon after met his wife, and she's helped him get all the way down to 290 pounds. It seems like every one of these guys battled and ate their way to football success, only to be forced to battle weight loss in retirement. It's the unseen dark side to when you're laughing and cheering while your favorite big man makes a play. It really makes you appreciate the physical and mental journey these guys are willing to take in order to play a game they love.
Geez, Chase Chats, you want some crackers with that cheesy line?